Good morning, grade 3. Our lesson today is the digital clock. As you know before about the clock, that it has two arms or two hands, the short arm or the short hand, which refers to the or takes the hours, okay, and the long arm takes the minutes. Okay, the hours are already on the clock, but the minutes I have to put them on the clock. In the digital clock, the minutes are going to be timetable 5, as you see here. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Okay, so the rule to get the time in digital clock is to start with the short arm or with the hours, and then you have to put the minutes. I put the minutes by looking at the long arm or long hand. Okay, but there is another note here. If the long arm is on the first half, that means I'm going to take the hour itself. But if the long hand here is on the second half, there is a problem. Okay, what is my problem? Let's start again. Here, I'll start with the short arm, which is 2, but the long arm here is on the second half of the clock. That means that the time it's not 2 yet. There is 10 minutes left to be 2. So the time is not 2. So it is 1. So when the long arm is on that half, I don't take 2. I take the hour before it. I take 1. Because I start with the short arm, which refers to the hours. Okay, and then the long arm, which takes the minutes, and as you know before that the short arm takes the near numbers and the long arm takes the far numbers. So the short arm here takes the near numbers, which are already on the clock, and the long arm takes the far numbers, which I put them myself on the clock. So the long arm here refers to 50, and I said before that the long arm is on that half. When the long arm is on the second half of the clock, that means that the time is not 2 yet. It didn't reach to 2 yet. So it's 1:50. Okay, let's see the other example. So in the digital clock, I start with the short arm. I start with the hours. The short arm, which points to the hours. Okay, the short arm takes the near numbers. Okay, let's first put the minutes on the clock. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then 55. So let's start with the hours. I'll start with the short arm. The short arm refers to 5. So I put 5. What to take? 5 or 25? The short arm takes the near numbers. What is near here? 5 or 25? It's 5. So I put 5. And then the minutes. The minutes, I look at the long arm or long hand. Okay, the long hand takes the 4 numbers. What is 4 here? 2 or 10? It's 10. I say 5, it's 5, 10. Okay. Again, the second example. And I remind you of this. Note that the long arm is on the first half of the clock. So I take the 5 itself. I don't move to the number before it because the long arm is on the first half. No problem. Okay, let's see this example. The same rule. I start with the hours. The hours. I start with the short arm. Okay, the short arm takes the near numbers. Let's first put the minutes. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then 55. So the short arm, which points to the hours, it refers to 1. Shall I take 1 or 5? The short arm can catch only the near numbers. What is near here, 1 or 5? It's 1. Okay, and the long arm. Okay, then let's look at the long arm. The long arm, which points to the minutes. The long arm takes which numbers? The near numbers or the far numbers? The long arm can catch the far numbers because it's long. So I'll take 15. So how to say it? The time is 1:15. And the long arm is on the first half of the clock. The long arm is on the first half of the clock. So I will take the 1 itself. I don't move back to the hour before it. Okay, the last example here I start first I have to put the minutes. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and 55. Okay, start with the short arm, which is the hours, and then the long arm, which takes the minutes. The short arm here is between 7 and 8. Okay, and as I said before, if the long arm is on the second half, so I got a problem here. So the clock, the short arm is between 7 and 8, so it's not 8 yet. The time didn't get to 8 yet, so I don't take 8, I take 7. Okay, so because the long arm is on the second half and the short arm is between 7 and 8, I take the small number, it's 7. And the short arm takes the small numbers, takes the near numbers. Which is near here, 7 or 35? It's 7, that's why I put 7. The short arm can catch only the near numbers. Okay, and the long arm takes the far numbers. The long arm refers or points to 40 and 8. So long arm takes the far numbers. What is for here, 8 or 40? It's 40. So again, if the long arm is on the other half of the clock, is on the second half of the clock, that means I'm not going to take 8 because the time is not 8 yet. It's 20 minutes before it is getting 8. Okay,